Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out here pushing this truth and sincerity, the water for what y'all do. We love you. We appreciate you through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and shalom to y'all. This your brother Dawah Dad from the Great Millstone Camp in Atlanta. Lord willing to give you an edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Who the world ignorantly calls God, his name is Yahweh, meaning he is or he exists or he to be. Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai, meaning he is the Savior or he is the deliverer. He saves, he delivers. All right? If you're watching this now, you're a so-called black, Native American, or Latino man or woman, then you are a Hebrew or Israelite according to the Holy Bible. You would not find black, Native American, or Latino in the Bible, so you need to know who you are according to the Bible. Now, if you don't look like a so-called black, Native American, or Latino, but you feel like this is the truth and it resonates with your spirit, well, then there's a good possibility that you can be a Hebrew Israelite. It does not matter what you look like. It does not matter what color your skin is. It only matters that your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob had his name later changed to Israel. Israel in the Hebrew is Yasharallah. All right, let's crack into the next chapter in 2 Samuel's. 2 Samuel 3, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the subtitle reads, The House of David Strengthened. All right, the house of Dawah Dad. All right, Dawah Dad, beloved. It says, now there was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David. But David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. In today's time, you can view that as the two-thirds, all right? Two-thirds, these other camps, right? These other camp leaders, these other camps, period. You know, as long as if they don't follow the doctrine of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, then they can be possibly considered as the house of Saul. All right, in today's day, all right. You have camps out there called HOD, House of David, but if they're not preaching the word of the gospel of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in its entirety, they're not the House of David. All right. It says, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. It says, and unto David were sons born in Hebron. And his first was Amnon of Ahinoam, the Jezreelitess, and the second Chileab of Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite, and the third Absalom, the son of Maacah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Jeshur, and the fourth Adonijah, son of Haggith, and the fifth Shephatiah, son of Abital, and the sixth Ithream, by Eglah, David's wife. These were born to David in Hebron. Abner joins David. And it came to pass, while there was war between the house of Saul and the house of David, that Abner made himself strong for the house of Saul. And Saul had a concubine whose name was Rizpah, and the daughter of Aiah. And Ishbosheth said to Abner, wherefore hast thou gone in unto my father's concubine? Then was Abner very wroth for the words of Ishbosheth, and said, am I a dog's head which against Judah do shew kindness this day unto the house of Saul thy father, to his brethren and to his friends, and have not delivered thee into the hand of David, that thou chargest me today with a fault concerning this woman? So do God to Abner, and more also, except as the Lord hath sworn to David, even so I do to him, to translate the kingdom from the house of Saul, and to set up the throne of David over Israel and over Judah, from Dan even to Beersheba. And he could not answer Abner a word again, because he feared him. And Abner sent, and bro, this dude was being a nigga anyways, man. You know, you're not king, man. David is to be set king. You know, it says, and Abner sent messengers to David on his behalf, saying, Whose is the land? Saying also, Make thy league with me, and behold, my hand shall be with thee to bring about all Israel unto thee. And he said, Well, I will make a league with thee, but one thing I require of thee, that is, thou shalt not see my face, except thou bring Micah Saul's daughter when thou comest to see my face. And David sent messengers to Ishbosheth, Saul's son, saying, Deliver me my wife Michal, which I espoused to me for 100 foreskins of the Philistines. And you can see that was a transactionary, deal, man, right? There wasn't no, I'm in love with this girl, can I make... No, it was a transaction, man, Going to show you how, things were done back there with women, man. It's not so as today, man, or, emotional and, morals that don't make no sense, that don't matter, morals that don't matter. That's what it's about nowadays, man. They got morals that don't matter. They set their sights on morals that don't matter. But back then it was a transactionary thing, and she belonged to him. Point blank, period. That's how that goes. It says, And Ishbosheth sent and took her from her husband, even from Phaltai, the son of Laish. Now, that wasn't her husband, remember, because David wasn't dead, you see? So that's unlawful to give her to another man. So that wasn't her husband. It says, And her husband went with her along, weeping behind her to Bahurim. Then said Abner to him, Go, return, and returned. And he returned. And Abner had communication with the elders of Israel, saying, Ye sought for David in times past to be king over you. Now then do it. For the Lord hath spoken to David, saying, By the hand of my servant David I will save my people Israel out of the hand of the Philistines, and out of the hand of all their enemies. And Abner also spake in the ears of Benjamin. And Abner went also to speak in the ears of David and Hebron, all that seemed good to Israel, and that seemed good to the whole house of Benjamin. So Abner came to David in Hebron, and 20 men with him. And David made Abner and the men that were with him a feast. And Abner said unto David, I will arise and go, and will gather all Israel unto my lord the king, and they may make a league with thee, and that thou mayest reign over all that thine heart desired. And David sent Abner away, and he went in peace. And behold, the servants of David and Joab came from pursuing a troop, and brought in a great spoil with them. But Abner was not with David in Hebron, for he had sent him away, and he was gone in peace. When Joab and all the host that was with him were come, they told Joab, saying, Abner the son of Ner When Joab and all the host that was with him were come, they told Joab, saying, Abner the son of Ner came to the king, and he hath sent him away, and he is gone in peace. Then Joab came to the king and said, What hast thou done? Behold, Abner came unto thee. Why is it that thou hast sent him away, and he is quite gone? Thou knowest Abner the son of Ner, that he came to deceive thee, and to know thy going out and thy coming in, and to know all that thou doest. Joab murders Abner. Yet more wickedness going on in Israel, you see. It says, And when Joab was come out from David, he sent messengers after Abner, which brought him again from the well to Sirah. But David knew it not. And when Abner was returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly, and smote him there under the 5th rib, that he died for the blood of Asahel, his brother. And that's why he did it, all right? And afterward, when David heard it, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before the Lord forever from the blood of Abner the son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Joab and all of his father's house, and let there not fail from the house of Joab one that hath an issue, or that is a leper, or that leaneth on a staff, or that falleth on a sword, or that lacketh bread. Damn. King David, hey, he said a curse on Joab and his house. Wow. It says Joab and Abishai, his brother, slew Abner, because he had slain their brother Asahel and Gibeon in battle. But that was righteous, though. Right? It says David mourns Abner. Well, it wasn't that what was righteous, is that it was a battle, right? I'm not going to say, you know what I'm saying? So it was justified, point blank, right? It says, And David said to Joab and to all the people that were with him, Rend your clothes and gird you with sackcloth, and mourn before Abner. And King David himself followed the bier. It says, and they buried Abner in Hebron, and the king lifted up his voice and wept at the grave of Abner, and all the people wept. And the king lamented over Abner and said, died Abner as a fool died. Died Abner as a fool died? Thy hands were not bound, nor thy feet put into fetters. As a man falleth before wicked men, so fellest thou. And all the people wept again over him. And when all the people came to David, and when all the people came to cause David to eat meat while it was yet day, David sware, saying, so do God to me, and more also if I taste bread or all else till the sun be down. And all the people took notice of it, and it pleased them, as whatsoever the king did pleased the people. For all the people and all Israel understood that day it was not of the king to slay Abner the son of Ner. And the king said unto his servants, know ye not that there is a prince and a great man fallen this day in Israel? And I am this day weak, though anointed king, and these men the sons of Zeruiah be too hard for me. The Lord shall reward the doer of evil according to his wickedness. Actually, let me see if I can try to finish this. Salakia, get ready for sleep. I wake up early. Salakia is it says Ishbosheth murdered. It says same for 2 Samuel 4:1. And when Saul's son heard that Abner was dead in Hebron, his hands were feeble, and all the Israelites were troubled. And Saul's son had 2 men that were captains of bands. The name of the one was Baanah, and the name of the other Rechab. The sons of Ramon and Berothite, a Berothite of the children of Benjamin. For Beroth also was reckoned to Benjamin. And the Berothites fled to Gittaim, and were sojourners there until this day. And Jonathan, Saul's son, had a son that was lame of his feet, who was 5 years old when the tidings came of Saul and Jonathan out of Jezreel. And his nurse took him up and fled. And it came to pass, as she made haste to flee, that he fell and became lame. And his name was Mephibosheth. And the sons of Ramon, the Berothite, Rechab, and Baanah, went and came about to the heat of the day, the house of Ishbosheth, who lay on the bed at noon. And they came thither into the midst of the house, as though they would have fetched wheat. And they smote him under the 5th rib. And Rechab and Baanah, his brothers, escaped. But when they came into the house, he lay on his bed in the bedchamber. And they smote him, and slew him, and beheaded him, and took his head, and gat them away through the plain all night. And they brought the head of Ishbosheth unto David and to Hebron, and said to the king, behold, the head of Ishbosheth the son of Saul, thy enemy, which sought thy life, and the Lord hath avenged my lord the king this day of Saul and of his seed. See, look, man. You know, like anyone should know, but let's just read on. Let's see what happens. Let's see how David judges the matter. It says, and David answered Rechab and Baanah his brother, the sons of Ramon the Berothite, and said unto them, as the Lord liveth, who hath redeemed my soul out of all adversity? When one told me, saying, behold, Saul is dead, thinking to have brought good tidings, I took hold of him and slew him in Ziklag. Who thought that I would have given him a reward for his tidings? How much more when wicked men have slain a righteous person in his own house upon his bed? Shall I not therefore now require his blood of your hand and take you away from the earth? It's like niggas just doing shit without consulting the Lord, man. You see? That's why you pray. That's why you pray before you do. You see? These are prime examples. You know? It says, and David commanded his young men, and they slew them and cut off their hands and their feet and hanged them up over the pool of Hebron. But they took the head of Ishbosheth and buried it in the sepulchre of Abner in Hebron. So, yeah, because, well, David said it, he said it best, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you judge according to righteousness, man. People out here, you know, doing, you know, their own dealings, going about their things their own way, you know what I'm saying, without consulting, you know? So why don't you ride over to King David if you wanted him, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you just go ask him what he wanted to do, you know? Like, hey, man, we with you. What do you want us to do? You know what I'm saying? And he said it himself. When a nigga said that he had killed King Saul, didn't I kill him? What's up with you? Didn't you see that? Didn't you hear that account? Man, hey, man. But, here we are, because, we're reading these things and we're thinking about, so basically, we're thinking about how we can apply, these accounts to our lives. We need to pray more before we do. All right. And that goes for me. That goes for everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? If you call yourself being in this truth and being in the man of the Lord, you need to pray, man, before you do, because we've all done things. I've done things. I still do things to this day where it's impulsive, and it puts you in deeper trouble than what you asked for. So take a step back, pray, and ask for counsel. You got mentors, you got counsel, you got leaders of your camps. You got men that were in this thing for 20, 30 years, 15 years, 10 years. Like, you can ask them for counsel and help and mentorship and advice. All right. So, Lord, what do you was edify? I want to end it off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Rakakadash, double honors to apostles and elders of great millstone ever well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, and shalom.